Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to your very own question time on Islam Live from the Ahlebait studios with your host Naveed Hussain. Our Islamic scholar, he's here with us tonight once again to answer any questions, any concerns, any observations that you may have about religion of Islam, and in particular the months of Ramadan. Sayyidina, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah bless you and bless all our brothers and sisters who are with us this evening in the remaining days of the month of Ramadan. Now the counting down has started, and every mu'min should do his best to get as much benefits from the remaining days and nights of this great month of Ramadan, keeping in mind that the great chance to get great reward and forgiveness and your wishes fulfilled in this month of Ramadan, the days are going down and down. Reciting one verse of Quran in the remaining days of the month of Ramadan will give you the reward of reciting the whole Quran after the month of Ramadan. So the great chance will not remain forever. We must utilize it as much as we can, inshallah. And it is very important that after the month of Ramadan, we must see in ourselves the difference. After fasting the whole month of Ramadan, we must see the difference. And that is the aim behind fasting. The difference should be seen by ourselves and by people who live with us and by our neighbors and our colleagues and our friends. The difference means the benefit which we got from the fasting in the month of Ramadan, inshallah.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, rightly as you mentioned, we are nearing the end of this holy month. Sayyidina, in terms of course, those who unfortunately may have missed the nights of Qadr, these remaining days, is there a way for them to gain that benefit which they may have missed? Is there a chance?
The last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan are very great. Any of the 10 nights is very great. So those who did not do enough during the nights of Qadr can do now in the remaining nights by reciting Quran, by reciting dua, by seeking forgiveness, by doing good, by doing whatever they want to do.
And say that, do we find any way where they say the 27th may be another night of Laylatul Qadr, or is that weak hadith?
No, that is not an authentic narration.
Right.
Among the ulama, followers of Ahlebait, the authentic narrations are 3 nights, 19th, 21st, and 23rd. We don't have any authentic narration of 27th.
Thank you very much indeed. Sayyidina, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Are there any collections of hadith or other books on which both Shia and Sunni scholars agree that can assist an objective seeker of truth?
Of course, yes. We have got many hadiths which are narrated in Shia books and Sunni books. In fact, the hadiths which are narrated in both Shia and Sunni books go to thousands. And if Muslims follow those common hadiths, then a lot of differences will be eliminated. There are, in fact, thousands of hadiths which are common in Shia books and Sunni books.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, what is true irfan according to the Ahlebait Tv?
What is the true irfan according to Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam? Irfan is a term which we don't find it in Quran or Hadith. A term which was created later on. Irfan is used for the way to achieve higher degree in spirituality. And they speak about Irfan Nadari and Irfan Amali. The ideological Irfan and the practical Irfan. According to the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt, we can call it the akhlaq. The akhlaq in its different degrees. Because akhlaq is not only how to treat others, but akhlaq starts to know how to treat yourself, how to deal with yourself, how to be nice to yourself, not to cause any insult to yourself, any harm to yourself by committing any sinful act, and how to deal with your Creator, Allah, the Glorious. The best way of irfan is what we read in the teachings of Ahlul Bayt, in the du'as of Ahlul Bayt. For example, read the dua of Makarim al-Akhlaq, dua number 20 in As-Sahifa al-Sajjadiyya al-Kamila, Sahifa Kamila. Dua number 20, Makarim al-Akhlaq, and see the great irfan in it. Also, read dua of Abi Hamza al-Thumali, which has got great degrees of irfan. Also, read the dua of Jawshan al-Kabir and dua of Jawshan al-Saghir and the munajat of Sha'ban and dua al-Sabah and dua Yastashir and dua al-Mujir and other great du'as narrated from Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. You will see how the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt are showing people how to uplift their spirituality and how to become good servants of Allah. Servants who are achieving the aim of life, not wasting their time in nonsense. Servants who are adding always to their good deeds. As the dua says from Imam Zayn al-Abidin, وَاصْرِفْ أَيَّامِي فِيمَا خَلَقْتَنِي لَهُ وَاسْتَعْمِلْنِي فِيمَا تَسْأَلُنِي غَدًا عَنْهُ. Make my time involved in the aim which you created me for. And make me busy always in what you will question me in the day of judgment. So, the real meaning of irfan is the spirituality and akhlaq which we get from the teachings of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam.
Thank you very much indeed. Sayyidina, if a person witnessed a murder, and he was threatened that if you tell that we will either kill you or your family, what should that person do in that instance?
It depends on the situation. Of course, it is wajib on everyone to save his life and the life of others. But also it is wajib to stand with the truth against the wrong. So if he has witnessed a crime, he has a responsibility to report it so that the criminal should not escape the punishment.
Sure. Thank you very much indeed. Saying that, can zakat or khums be paid before the end of the term? So, for example, I paid khums or zakat 1st of January 2019 for that year. Can I pay that now in the middle of the year for the following year, or like rather than waiting to the next 1st January 19?
To start with, I don't want people to mix between zakat and khums. Zakat has got 9 items. If you don't have the 9 items or any of the 9 items, zakat is not obligatory on you. Zakat of fitrah, which is on the night of Eid or first day of Eid, that is obligatory on every Muslim who is not poor. But khums is obligatory. Now the 9 things, which are the 9 things? 9 things are, number 1, the golden currency. Gold is not currency. The silver currency. And 3 types of animals: camels, cows, sheep. And 4 types of crops. 4 types of, like, the 4 are wheat, barley, dates, and raisins. Any of these 9 items, if you have, and not any amount, small amount, no, because zakat has got what we call it nisab. Nisab, which is the minimum amount required to make zakat obligatory on you. When we don't have, khums is obligatory. Whatever income we have, we spend on our usual expenses, and whatever remain must be applicable for 20%, which is called khums. Now, is it allowed to pay khums before time? The answer is yes, it is allowed. Is it allowed to pay zakat al-fitrah now before the night of Eid? Yes. You can pay it, but not with the intention of fitrah. Give it now as a loan, qarz. And on the night of Eid, do the niyat that this amount which you gave is zakatul fitrah.
Thank you very much indeed. Sayyidina, question is regarding how can we clean the toilet which has a wooden or the vinyl flooring. If children's is obviously the najas, the toilet seats become najas. If we wash the floor, it becomes wet and gets more najas. So basically, the material of the actual toilet seat, etc. What's the best way of cleaning it without spreading the najasat?
If the toilet is wooden toilet,
Yeah, wooden seat. You will have wooden seat.
wash it.
That's a standard way of
Washing it.
Right.
If the wooden toilet or wooden ground becomes najas, simply pour water on it.
Right.
It will become tahir.
Okay, a second question regarding the school meals. Children who are entitled to free school meals where they cook halal and haram food, can children all have the dinner from that school? In that condition.
Children, Muslim children, should not be given non-halal food. It is the responsibility of the parents to make it very clear point to the school not to offer or not to feed their children any non-halal food. If the parents neglect, they will be responsible in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Thank you very much indeed. So now, what would be the purpose of having extra Quranic information? For example, the Mus'haf of Fatima and Al-Jafar, if it is only accessible to the Imam, wouldn't that information regarding fiqh and Sharia be beneficial to the people as well?
Number one, the question is not accurate. There is no Quranic information in the book of Fatima.
Okay.
There is no Quranic information in Kitabul Jafr. The book of Fatima is completely different topic. Nothing from Quran in it. So the question is based on misunderstanding. The book of Fatima does not contain Quran. Quran is Quran. The book of Fatima contains knowledge about the future, which is not any Quranic knowledge. Kitabul Jafr is a book about knowledge, but it is not Quranic knowledge. So we don't mix between them. Quran is for everyone, but Kitabul Jafr is only for those who can understand it, and only the infallibles can understand it. The Mus'haf of Fatima, book of Fatima, is also not for us. It is the knowledge which Allah has gifted to Fatima alayhi salam, and it is recorded in the book of Fatima.
Thank you very much indeed. So if I say I guess somebody has done something bad, like you guess it, you think that is, if I do not say it is certain, is it still regarded as backbiting or slander?
Yes, it is wrong. We cannot guess. We cannot, you see, if you want to guess in your heart, that is a different story. But you cannot disclose the name of anyone claiming that he might have done something wrong, because that is a sort of insult. It can be allegation, and it can be insult. So it is haram for a Muslim to say that I guessed that Mr. A or B did something wrong, unless we have authentic, concrete evidence. We cannot come out with allegation on anyone.
Thank you very much indeed. So that is a person who is insane or doesn't understand much intellectually, i.e. aql, is he held responsible for the sins he commits?
If a person has no aql, then when there is no aql, there is no responsibility. That's why one of the conditions of ibadah is to be aqil. And the person who is not aqil, mad, he is not responsible for any ibadah. Salah will not be wajib on him. Fasting won't be wajib on a person who has no aql. One of the conditions is al-aql. So an insane who has no aql, whatever he does, he is without aql. Yes, please.
Thank you very much indeed. Sayyidina, in Surah Al-A'raf, verse 20, there's the second part of the ayat says that, if I may read, basically, عن هذه شجرة إلا أن تكون ملكين أو تكون من الخالدين. Now say that from this ayat, the typical translation is that God does not want you to come to the tree. He doesn't want you to become like the angels or immortal.
That is not the ayat. That is what Shaitan said.
That's right.
Shaitan claimed.
That's right.
So in Quran, Allah is telling us what Shaitan claimed. And the claim of Shaitan is satanic, wrong.
So the question here, in terms of the ayat, that what my question is that the shaitan tried bribing Hazrat Adam that to go to the tree, basically, to eat from the tree. And the only reason that God doesn't want you is because you become like the immortal or the angels. Like the typical translation that you get. The question here is saying that when Hazrat Adam, when the angels were to bow in front of Hazrat Adam, that the angels were obviously inferior to Hazrat Adam. So why would Shaitan here, in terms of the translation, use angels to bribe Hazrat Adam when Hazrat Adam already knew that the angels were under him? So my question, back to the question of this ayat when he says Malakain. Now Malakain in Arabic means two kings.
Yeah. No,
So
two
angels.
angels.
But Malak is a king in Arabic.
No, Malik, not Malak. In Arabic, Malik means king. Malak means angel. So Shaitan wanted to deceive Adam and Eve.
Right.
That's why he told them, مَا نَهَاكُمَا رَبُّكُمَا عَنْ تِلْكُمَا الشَّجَرَةِ. Your Lord did not tell you to avoid that tree only because he does not want you to become two angels, and he does not want you to remain immortal. So that is the cheating of Shaitan. That is the claim of Shaitan, not the reality.
Right. But saying them again, my question about this is, what I don't understand is, if, take a day-to-day example, if you are to bribe someone with something, you will bribe them with something that is much more higher than them. If they already have that, why would you want to bribe someone of, because angels were already, the status of angels was less than Hazrat Adam's. Hence they bowed down to Hazrat Adam. So my question again, I mean, from the interpretation, basically coming back, my question is that from what I've heard, that this Malakain, meaning two kings, that at that time that they were referring, Shaitan was referring to the two kings as the Prophet and Imam Ali, that the Shaitan doesn't want you to become like them.
No.
In other words, and this is another interpretation. I mean,
No. After all, Quran should not be taken from linguistic translation.
Right.
Quran must be taken from the Prophet and Ahlebait. They know the meaning of it.
Right.
Unless you get the authentic hadiths from the Prophet and Ahlebait alayhim salam, no one can claim that the Quranic meaning is so and so.
Right. Okay, thank you very much indeed, Syed. So the question regarding the type of charities that we should be supporting. There's a lot of charities out there, and also obviously, for example, there are the Islamic TV channels, etc. Where should we should be giving our homes or sadaqat? How can we know that there's so many charities out there right now? How can we find out the most required
You
charities?
must deal with people who are trustworthy.
Right.
Many charities are run by people who look after their own benefits, not only for the benefits of the poor. So you need to deal with people who are God-fearing, trustworthy, not to give your charity money to any Tom, Dick and Harry. No. Even those people who stop you on the road and beg, if you are not sure that they are needy, no, keep the charity to the needy people. Otherwise, lot of wrong things are being done by charity money. Lot of people who are begging and they're getting charity money and they go and drink alcohol using that charity money. So be careful. Nowadays also there is a new trend of beggars who are begging through the social media. Many people in a way or another get the numbers from the social media or email addresses from the places where they can get, and then they write stories and they ask for money. Don't give the money of the poor people without being sure that these people are really deserving and really poor. We have seen in many cases that when they demand, we ask them to give their full address, then we can send our people to check. They don't give the full address. And we discover that they were just trying to take money in a wrong way. Of course, I don't say everyone who is asking through the internet is wrong. No, but there are definitely many people who ask for money through the internet and social media who are not deserving at all. You have to be careful. You have to be sure that your charity money must reach to the really deserving poor people.
Thank you very much indeed. So that, as you know, the last 10 days of Mahr Ramadan is dedicated to the i'tikaf. What are the conditions
It
of
is mustahab.
It is mustahab.
Mustahab. I'tikaf
The
is
conditions.
mustahab.
What are the conditions of i'tikaf?
I'tikaf is remaining in the masjid, not at home, not in Islamic center, no, in a masjid, which is better to be Jama masjid, main masjid, or if not, then any masjid. Remaining in the masjid a period which is minimum 3 days, minimum. 3 days, minimum. It can be 5, it can be 7, it can be 9, but minimum 3 days. In the 3 days, the person in the masjid must be busy only and only in the worship of Allah. No business, no worldly affairs. Even married couples are not allowed to have any married relationship during i'tikaf. So i'tikaf is a period of ibadah. One of the best times of i'tikaf is the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan.
Thank you very much indeed. Sayyidina, a question regarding when you wear rings.
Yeah.
Is it makruh or haram to wear the ring on the thumb or the middle finger? Can you explain?
Good question. We have got in the hadiths that wearing ring is recommended in 2 rings only, in 2 fingers only. The
index finger.
Index and the other one. The index and the other one. The other 3, the 3, which is the thumb and the
2.
These 2, it is makruh to wear any ring in these or any of these 3 fingers. Wearing ring is either in the index or the other one. In the hadiths that the people who were doing very bad acts in the time of Lut and Nuh, they used to wear rings in the middle and the other fingers. So we are recommended or encouraged to wear ring only in the index and the other finger. Yes, please.
Thank you very much indeed. So if you were to advise someone to pick up Nahjul Balagha,
Yeah.
of course, there's so many sermons and letters, what have you. Which one would you say a person who doesn't have much knowledge about Nahjul Balagha, which sermon would you say would be first to pick and read? I mean, I know, of course,
صفة المتقين. صفة المتقين.
And why? The reason behind that?
Because it gives صفة المتقين. Of course, it is a personal matter. For me, from my young age, I have gained lot of benefits from Nahjul Balagha by reading Sifatul Muttaqeen, the characteristics of the pious, which shows how the pious behaves, how the pious thinks, how he wears, how he walks. Sifatul Muttaqeen is a great sermon which teaches us great teachings.
And Sayyidina, we find a story of this particular in the time of Mawla Ali alayhi salam, when someone asked about this, and then he no longer...
Yeah. Humam. He asked Amir al-Mu'mineen to tell him about the characteristics of the sincere followers of Ahlul Bayt. Imam didn't agree to say in the beginning, and the man insisted. Humam insisted. When Imam started, the speech was so amazing that Humam could not remain alive. He was shocked by the greatness of what Amir al-Mu'mineen said. So it is very great to get benefits from that sermon.
Thank you very much indeed. So that we know that the Quran has different, obviously different parts. Are some parts more important or more rewarding than other parts? Or can we say that every single ayat has the same amount of weight and reward, etc.? Because it's the word of God.
As far as the importance, every word in Quran is important. But we have got a surah in Quran which is the greatest. The greatest surah in Quran is Surah Al-Hamd. That's why in every salah, no salah is valid without reciting Surah Al-Hamd. لا صلاة إلا بفاتحة الكتاب. No salah is valid without reciting Surah Al-Fatiha, Al-Hamd. So, great surahs like Al-Hamd, like قل هو الله أحد, like إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر. Great verses like بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, like Ayatul Kursi. There is a narration, hadith from Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam from the Prophet that Ayatul Kursi is one of the greatest verses in Quran. إنها من أعظم آيات القرآن. Ayatul Kursi is one of the greatest verses in Quran. Anyone who recites Ayatul Kursi while going out from his house, he will be in the guarantee of Allah to return back safely. And anyone who recites Ayatul Kursi after his obligatory salah, he will be so near to paradise that nothing is between him and paradise but only death. So close to paradise. So no doubt there are verses which are very great. Of course, every verse in Quran is great. But say, for example, we have got a verse which speaks about specific matter. يسألونك عن المحيض قل هو أذى فاعتذروا النساء في المحيض. People ask you about menstruation of the females. Tell them it is a burden on the female. So during the menstrual cycle, don't have any sexual intercourse with your wife. That is a verse in Quran. Great. But when you read Surah An-Nur, Allahu Nuru Samawati wal Ard. So every verse has got its greatness.
Thank you very much indeed. So is the reward less if someone reads the Quran from a mobile phone or recites from memory?
If you recite Quran from your mobile or from the text, your thawab will be more than from your memory.
Right.
We have got hadith that when you read Quran from book, from whatever written in front of you, number one, your eyesight will be better, stronger. Number two, you will get more reward. Number three, Allah will grant you and your parents forgiveness. So look at the Quranic text, even those who don't know Arabic. It is recommended for them to look at the Quran. Open the Quran and read. Look, you don't know how to read, but look. Looking at the Quran, even for those who cannot read Arabic, looking itself is a reason of a great reward. Anyone has got medical condition in his eyes, he is advised to look at the Quran. Look at the Quran. Even if you don't know Arabic, but look at the Quranic text.
Thank you very much indeed. So now, regarding abrogated words, verses and those who are abrogated.
Al-Mansukh.
That's right.
Mansukh.
What does that say? Do we have these in the Quran? I mean, do other ulama?
No.
Okay.
There is a big difference between the followers of Ahlebait and followers of others. The followers of others claim that a lot of verses in Quran were being abrogated.
Okay.
While the followers of Ahlebait say no.
Okay.
No. Not as they claim. We have got the minimum number of
abrogated
verses. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yes, please.
Thank you very much indeed. Sayyidina, those who refer to their star signs and try following their star signs and the horoscopes, etc., palm reading, etc., what does Islam say about such people?
Palm reading has no value in Islam. The astrology is good in its own field.
Right.
But we have got a narration, كذب المنجمون ولو صدقوا. The astrologists have lied even if they say sometime true things. In Islam, we are discouraged, even prevented from referring to the astrologists who calculate and give you expectation and this will happen, that will happen. No. None of our infallible imams allowed this. And we don't have in the hadiths of the Prophet that he allowed it. So, nothing from astrology. I said it has got its own field. Calculating the sunrise, sunset, the moon sighting, okay. But to give expectation, what will happen, what has happened from the unseen, that is not encouraged at all in Islam.
Thank you very much indeed. Sayyidina, one of the ayahs of the Quran when the Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to the Prophet, O Prophet or O Messenger, proclaim to the people, or otherwise you have not sent.
يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك. O Messenger, convey
yeah.
to people what was being revealed on you. And if you do not, as if then you did not convey any of his message.
I think the last part of it, God talks about that He will save you from the kafirs.
والله يعصمك من الناس إن الله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين. Yes,
But
Allah
then-
will protect you from people. Yes.
So I say that during that time they were all Hajis, they were all Muslims. So why has Allah used the word kafir in this ayat when there is no kafir there?
You know, kafir does not mean non-Muslim. We have got types of kufr.
Okay,
There are some Muslims who are disgrateful.
okay,
We call it kufran ni'mat.
right.
A person who does not thank Allah for his bounties is doing kufran.
Right.
So, anyone who goes against the orders of Allah, he will be doing kufr. But not kufr means he becomes non-Muslim. No, I said the
Ungrateful.
kufran has got degrees. Yes.
Thank you very much, Inir. So the final question, a gift was given
A gift was given.
from a non-Muslim to a Muslim.
Okay.
Like a sweatshirt, like a jumper.
Okay.
Now on that jumper there's different like symbols and what have you, and on one of those symbols are like a cross, which represents, but among other symbols and what have you, just like a pattern. Is that Muslim first of all allowed to accept it? If so, can he wear it?
No, the Muslim is not allowed to wear any cloth which has got a religious sign of non-Muslims.
Right.
A religious sign of non-Muslims, like cross. Or any non-Muslim religious sign. Muslim is not allowed to wear it because it amounts to indirect endorsement
Sure.
of the wrong,
Right.
which is not allowed for Muslim.
Thank you very much. And Sayyidina, if you'd like to finish off with a few of your wise words.
People want to make use of big sales. If there is a really big sale, people stand even from early hours in the night waiting for the shop to open. The greatest season for gaining reward, forgiveness, every wish is the month of Ramadan. Few days and few nights are remaining. Utilize it as much as you can before it goes and we only repent. Utilize the remaining days and nights of the month of Ramadan in every possible good deed.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina, for your lovely words. Dear viewers, do join us inshallah next week. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.